So since I shared a lot about my parents, Max, have you ever maybe gone to one parent for something because you know they would maybe like let you go have a sleepover, whereas the other parent wouldn't?
I'm already laughing at
Oh
it.
no,
well,
what?
I don't know exactly, but my mom always made like Japanese food whenever she cooked, and it was great. But sometimes she wanted to let my dad either cook or choose where to go, and sometimes my dad would just be like, let's eat ice cream for dinner. And my mom would be like, what? Like, let's no.
Never letting you choose again.
But like, I don't know if that's a dad thing or a Caucasian dad thing. I honestly don't know, but like, I just think it's funny because like my mom is like, why would you go eat ice cream for dinner?
But also I feel like in like TV shows and stuff, it seems like moms often are made out to seem like the strict one. Because my parents got divorced when I was like 5 or something, so you know, like different households, and so like when I would go to my mom's household, it was like very Chinese, like calligraphy on Saturday morning. Like,
Really?
just be like, yeah, she would just be like, I'm gonna teach you calligraphy or something. Oh, Penny likes the calligraphy apparently. And then at my dad's house, it'd just be like a lot of Domino's pizza and like barbecues and stuff, which sounds like a stereotype, but it was true.
Did he let you wear your shoes inside the house?
Yeah. Oh, he never cared. I always like take my shoes off because it feels strange, but he never. Yeah.
Alright, Andi just had to take her dog out because she's barking a lot. But anyway, you know, just talking about our parents, you know, sometimes we feel like we're more Asian, more white, or sometimes we don't even really think about it at all. But on a serious note, there's some times where it's really funny, but there are some times where it's a little bit difficult, I guess, being half. Like, I don't have that many bad stories about growing up half, but I think you said you had.
Not bad, like flat out awful, but yeah, there were times where in college is when I experienced it the most, I guess. I went to UCLA, and there's a good number of Asian people there, and good number of like Asian associations. Also in college I was in a sorority, so I was in Greek life, but I was also really involved in like the international community, doing things like that, and like minoring in Asian American studies. But sometimes I would still get like the vibe that like, oh, you know, like you're only half Asian, like you don't really understand the struggle, or like you don't really understand what it's like to have, you know, like immigrant parents or something, because of, I don't know, because of maybe the way I talk, or because of some activities I was involved in college.
That's weird, just because at the East Coast, I feel like the Asian, even if you're half Asian, I mean, I'm sure most of the guys in the West Coast or UCLA are great, but like, we try to stick together, you know?
Yeah.
Even if you're half Asian, so to hear like, you know.
Oh, even if you're half Asian, like you feel included in the Asian community.
Well, I mean, like you're included, but like a little different, but nothing to the extent of like, you know, you're not
Asian enough.
You're not Asian enough, and you don't.
Or like you don't understand the struggle. Is like what I would.
Like there's a whole different struggle for a lot of half Asians.
So the next thing that we wanted to talk about was our respective experiences living in Japan and living in China.
Living in America, like we were both born and raised in America, but then going to Asia, like it might be more like nationalistic kind of pride. But when you're in America, like you start cheering for, I don't know about you, but I start cheering for like Japan. Like, oh, I want Japan to win in the Olympics, I want Japan. But then when I go to Japan, you start really getting this pride for being American.
Yeah, like where did this come from?
Like I bought like American sunglasses.
What?
I was just like, I'm super American. But now I'm wearing like this t-shirt that's obviously
very Japanese.
like Japanese in America. So it's just kind of funny. Like I know you said you did some stuff where like super pro-America. Like, not pro-America.
Weird.
That sounds like very political.
But like a lot of like American pride, I guess. Like a lot of patriotic pride. I think the only time I've ever used sparklers and like or fireworks myself on the 4th of July was in China, of all things. Like in the US, like maybe I've gone to see fireworks, but I've never been like, let's go out and get sparklers or something. But when I was studying abroad in Shanghai, all of my classmates and I were like, yes, like 4th of July! And we were like running around campus with our, you know, sparklers and stuff. And I think that was when I felt like the most American, maybe.
In China.
In China, yeah.
It almost kind of mirrors your own experiences racially or ethnically. Like sometimes you feel like white or feel Japanese, Chinese. You always feel like you're in between. You always feel like you're in between, but you're both at the same time.
Yeah, I think from my personal experience and what I've heard from some other people's is that you're kind of constantly renegotiating your identity, I guess. You know, sometimes you might meet people who are like, you look so Asian, you look so white. Oh, I knew you were HAPA. Or you might get a completely different guess of what people think you might be. And then, you know, other times, like we were saying earlier, when I'm around maybe like a certain group of people, I feel like, wow, like I'm quite Chinese. Like I know my Chinese stuff. Or other times I'm like, shoot, like I need to brush up on like my Chinese history or like my idioms or something. Like I don't know anything compared to some people. Another thing I wanted to share, when I was living in China, I remember like whenever I would hear, you know, like going out to clubs or even when you're in a cab on the radio, sometimes you hear American songs, especially at clubs, they play American songs, but it just, they feel that much more like, yeah, when you hear them in a foreign country. Maybe other people can relate to this.
Yes.
Yeah, especially like the old school stuff, because it's like common to hear, you know, like Pitbull and Kesha now.
I didn't even like Backstreet Boys until I went to Japan.
you went from not liking them to, okay, I'm obsessed.
Like not liking to the singing and karaoke.
You're kidding.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Well, sometimes though, like in the US, sometimes when I'm driving and, you know, like when you're driving in your own car, you have control over the music or something. I'll play Chinese rap music or I'll play like my favorite songs from certain Chinese dramas like Meteor Garden or something. And I'll sing them really loud and to kind of be like to my friends like, hey, like I can sing in Chinese or I can rap in Chinese. But in China, like that's not a big deal.
Like, the cool thing is you really can flip when you want to.
Yeah.
Like, I'll play my Asian card this time. I'll play the other cards.
But it's like always, I feel like all of that is always in you. It just, when I was younger, I keep like going back to saying when I was little, but I was so confused when I was little. I would like think about physical appearances a lot too. I'd go to my mom and be like, oh, I wish I had blonde hair. I would say that one day, and then the next day I'd be like, oh, I wish I had black hair. You know, I never was like, yeah, like it's both, you know, it's in the middle. But I would always be like, I want to be like that white girl in my class, or I want to be like that full Asian girl in my class. Or I would like look at my dad and I'd be like, oh, like everyone on my dad's side of the family, like my white side of the family, has like either green eyes or blue eyes, and that would just like totally get into my head, and I would think it's a bigger deal than it really is. But it's like, it's just always like in you, and like something that I would love to share with like other HAPA people is like, if you ever question your identity, or maybe you're like, I don't really feel like either of my parents, or I don't feel like other people around me, like that's normal, and like I felt that way, and I know other people who felt that way. It's just a matter of like owning who you are as an individual, and like that for me is like the most important thing, just like owning who you are and just being like curious and excited about where you come from and also where you're going.
So anyway guys, thanks again for watching this video. Thanks again Andy for doing this video and meeting me out here in LA while I'm on vacation.
Thank you so much. This has been really wonderful.
So once again guys, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.
Bye.
Bye. So that was part 2 of the video guys. Thanks for watching all the way through. I know this is a long one. I don't really know what I'm gonna make next, but I wanna say sorry for taking so long to come out with this one because I basically mixed the whole week. So in order to say sorry, I'm gonna commit seppuku. I'm sorry, my ancestors.